Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Remember, just a quick reminder on the replays, you guys can tap for hearts too. You can only do 500 actually at a time. I was wondering about that. How you guys doing? Happy Thursday. I always have to look at my clock. Like, wait, what day is it? Oh, all the days are melding together. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Chrissy. Hey, Jennifer. Hi, guys. Hi, Laura. How are you? So, yay, thanks for all the hearts already. So, okay. So this is kind of like a get real scope. OMG, Kathy, you're reading my mind. So overwhelmed with projects right now. Okay, totally. I feel like I'm not the only one. Yay. Hi, Natasha. Hi, Kristen. Yes, I have red hearts. Woohoo! Good morning. Yeah, so this is a fun topic. Your scopes always read my mind. Okay, so yeah, you guys are in the same spot as me. This is a good problem to have, right? Like when you're overwhelmed with so many clients and you're, I feel like stuffy today, maybe allergies. But when you're overwhelmed with clients and you're not sure what to do and you're not sure how to handle the workload, or it's just kind of a problem that seems to happen like when you've been in business for like just blowing my nose all day. Yeah, it's an awesome problem to have, and I feel like it's one of those things where whenever you complain about it, people are like, why are you complaining, right? Give me some hearts if you heard that before. If you're like, oh, I'm so busy, I have so many clients, and people are like, yeah, it must be nice. Like, why are you complaining? And you're like, no, you don't understand. Like, I want those. Yeah, there we go. I'm not the only one. You're like, I want those clients, but it's just overwhelming. I woke up totally overwhelmed today. Yeah. I hear you. So I had a conversation with one of my clients last night about this, and it is a hard problem because it's not a simple answer, right? It's not something you can just say, oh, you just do this one thing and then there you go. I feel like I've been battling this problem since I started my business, so it's been 7 years that I've been overwhelmed. And there's different strategies, and so I'm going to go over 3 strategies today that I feel like work in different parts, in different stages of your business. So they're not always like a one side, it's not simple at all. Yeah, it's not always like a one size fits all answer. And I realized this when my client we were talking about this, and she's like, oh, well, you just, which is my first tip, you just raise your prices, right? Which I feel like thanks for all the hearts, you guys, I feel like is a very valid suggestion. And in the beginning, maybe like that's the phase you're in, maybe your prices are too low, and that is why you're overwhelmed. That's why you booked a ton of clients, because you have really low prices. So that is an answer, right? That does help, but it doesn't always help in every situation. So that would be like my first suggestion. Tip number 1 is raise your prices, because that definitely does work when you're first starting your business. The whole idea of this is kind of supply and demand type thing. You raise your prices until things start to slow down to like a more chewable, digestible amount, right? But there comes a point when you can't really raise your prices anymore, when the market won't really bear it, and or if you just don't want to be that expensive. There's a point where I got to my business where if I started charging any more, I would start getting clients that I didn't like. So that is a strategy, and for the first few years that worked for us. Every time we would get super busy, we would just raise it $500 or $1,000, maybe, whatever it needed to be raised. We usually do this. I just realized my whole bra is hanging out. Sorry, guys. I price what I want this at this point, but raising them has helped. Yeah, it totally helps at first. Definitely, like the bottom of the barrel people are horrible people to work with. So you will find your ideal clients at one of those mid to higher ranges probably. It doesn't help with current client. Yeah, it's totally right. And actually is going to lead me into number 2. So it is a great strategy, but there is a point where you might find your business, you can't really raise it much higher. Like that's almost a band-aid in some ways, because eventually you'll get to the point where it's not just about pricing, it's more complicated than that. So then my second tip, if you haven't already done this, like in your business, and this is kind of the phases I went in, right? The first, I raised my prices. My second thing, once I got really overwhelmed and didn't really necessarily want to ramp things down, was I hired help. So that's your second step, is what you're going to do. Maybe some of you guys have already done that. But that's the second phase of reducing overwhelm, is hiring help. So you raise your prices to a point, and then you realize you're still overwhelmed. You can't do it all, and that's when hiring help comes in. Thanks for all the hearts, you guys. You guys are awesome with your hearts. They're free, and you guys just give them out freely. I love it. Feeling the love. But yeah, that's when you hire help. You hire small help. You just start really small. You can hire someone for very cheap at first, and then you sort of build your team. And so that is a big phase you'll kind of go through growing in your business. So then you'll start hiring help, right? And that'll be your second phase. And if you can't afford to hire, barter with someone, yeah. So I feel like I did that phase, raised my prices, hired help, and then now what, right? Okay, those are the two things that I did. Now I'm still having the problem 7 years later. So this is the phase that I've sort of entered in now. This is like the level 3 phase of getting rid of overwhelm. And that is start making it passive. Totally agree. Have an assistant trainer now to do more now. Yeah, hiring is help totally intimidates me. I want to scope on how to hire. I've done one before. If you look back at where the heck's my sign? Uh-oh. I should have thought about this. Okay. Oops. So if you go here, I think you've already been here before. Leverage your time. Yeah, if you go here to my love-inspired.com/periscopes or Periscope, I have one on hiring. I believe so. But yeah, so now you're at level 3. You've tried these other two things, and now you're at level 3, and that's in start making it passive. So this is the phase of business I'm in right now. Part-time per projects can work well. Yeah, totally. Yeah, just like it doesn't have to be. You don't have to. I think people think you have to hire a full-time employee when you're hiring, but you don't. It can be as cheap as $50 a week or something, right? So it makes a huge difference just even getting your emails answered. But yeah, the third thing is you start to make it passive. So this is sort of like a evolution of business, right? Especially with people that are have been doing it as long as I have. You start to get to the point, or maybe when you start having babies, you start to get to the point that you realize that you can't trade hours for dollars anymore. And so, and you might not be here yet. You might not be at this point. You still might be in one of those other phases, and that's totally okay too. But eventually you will get to this phase, and just be thinking about that. You're going to want to start making some of your business passive, so you're literally taking it off your plate. And so this means, developing programs, doing passive income revenue streams like e-courses or memberships. I couldn't afford an employee, so to speak, so I pay piecework. That might be an option for some. Totally. I feel like we keep going back to the employer part because that's such a heavy part that a lot of people are in right now. But yeah, eventually you'll get to this place where you want to make things passive, and that's where I am with my business right now. And actually where I have been probably in the last year, but I'm realizing that since these other two aren't working really as well anymore, that I really have to start focusing and shifting. So what my plan is, I can just totally share it with you guys, for the rest of this year, is to start shifting into a more passive income space. So what that means for my business is I'm going to start splitting. Well, I don't know if it's really splitting because I've kind of been doing this already. Actually, in a way, I'm sort of bringing it together. I've always had, my graphic design business and website design business, and then I've done Design Life Project on the side, sort of as kind of a hobby thing where I do the teaching, e-courses, stuff like that, coaching, business coaching. So they've always been very separate, and I'm actually bringing them together, but I'm bringing that passive side into a bigger chunk of my business and to be more, so that I can really pull back on the amount of clients that I'm working with one-on-one, so that I can really, so that my whole team can focus a little bit better. If I told you guys how many websites we do a year, you guys would probably freak out and not believe it, because we have a large volume of stuff that we do, which is awesome, and it's fun to do new stuff, but it's just not sustainable in the long run. So we definitely need to pull that number down a little bit, and in order to offset the cost, that's where my passive stuff is coming in. So I say all this to say, if you are in this place in your business and you're looking to do more passive income streams, there you go, Elizabeth. I'm answering your question right as you said it. I actually have a course on creating passive profits. It's called Create Passive Profits, and I did it, I don't think I've run it for a whole year. I actually did it last year. So what I'm going to do, I have had so many people asking me about this course and wanting to take it, and I just kind of let it sit for a long time. because I feel like it totally needs like a little bit of a makeover. Not that there was anything wrong with it, but now that I know so much more, I feel like I can add so much more to it. So one of the things I'm going to be working on in this fall is kind of relaunching this. So just keep it in the back of your mind that I'm going to be offering this soon. It's really heavy right now. It's 4 weeks and it's like so much information, your head will spin. So I want to go through it and kind of comb through it and make it a little bit easier to understand. I don't know if anyone here took it before, but it's heavy. Like, it's heavy. It's like going to school. It's so heavy in information. I read 30 some books on passive profits, and I kind of regurgitated all this information. I had way too much information, information overload. So this time I want to kind of scale it back a little bit, make it a little bit easier to understand, and or break up the parts a little bit. So I'm kind of reworking it right now, so that's going to be something in the future that I'm going to push out there. But those are my 3 tips. If you guys are just joining, make sure you watch the replay to get the full explanation, but I'll do a quick recap for you guys. So the first tip of when you first become overwhelmed, your first go-to stage is going to be to raise your prices. And so you will continually raise your prices until they hit a point where you start getting the amount of clients that you want. I'd love a recommended reading list. Oh my gosh, you don't want to read this stuff. I'm telling you, it's so dry and so businessy. I mean, I'll totally send you something if you want it, but it's like a lot. Like, if you don't have time already, you don't have time to go through all these books because they're very businessy and dry and boring. Try me. Okay, sure. I'll send you some recommendations if you want. But I'm like shaking my head as I'm saying it because it's like it took me like a long time to get through all this content. Long flights in September. I just have like so many courses and things and Audible books that I bought and I haven't even listened to or read right now, and so it's a lot. It was like 30 some books that I read, but yeah, if you want to, go for it. That's the number 1, raise your prices. Number 2 is hire help. So that'll be your second phase. After you raise your prices and you just want to grow your business, but you're just only one person, hiring people is going to be your second go-to. And then once that's not enough, once you grow out of the hiring phase, so to speak, when you get to your third phase, it's going to be making it passive. So developing your systems and your business processes and having all your employees and everything, your prices are at a good spot. Now you need to start developing some passive income so that you can offset your money, so that you can make more money and work with for less time. I mean, that's kind of the ultimate goal, right? Is that we want to increase our profits, but not by taking on more clients, because that's just going to burn the candle at both ends, right? And then you'll become totally overwhelmed. So those are my 3 stages kind of that you would go through in order to do that, and you guys are awesome. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming and for sharing this time with me. I know you guys were probably doing something busy and you're like, oh, Kathy's on again, I gotta check it out. or Kathy's reading my mind, I gotta go check it out. So I appreciate you guys being here and lending me your ear. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you so much. If you guys haven't already joined our Facebook group, go ahead and screenshot this and come join us, inspiredscope.com. Yay! Thanks. I'm glad you guys like these tips. And this is me being in business for myself for 7 years and learning the hard way. So I'm so grateful that I can share this with you. I love Periscope, right? That we can much needed break. Yeah, get up and walk around, stretch, do a little dance break, whatever, wherever you are in your day, and now to dive into action work. Such a great group. Yay! So glad that you guys enjoy it. I'm so glad it's being helpful. So I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for all the hearts. Seriously, appreciate you so much. Love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Okay, bye guys. You too.